Hey, I'm Ultra David. This is the World Warriors of Capcom Cup Player Showcase.
And I'm James Chen. This is for the Capcom Cup that is going to be taking place on December 5th through 6th in December at the Sony PlayStation Experience in San Francisco. If you guys don't know much about the Capcom Pro Tour, or just want to know all about how we got to this point, check this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Capcom Fighters TV. And check out the intro video that we made there.
All right, but today let's talk about Dieminion.
That's
YOMI
right.
Dieminion.
One of the strongest players in the U.S.
And has been for quite a while. In fact, over his Street Fighter IV career, he has at times been the best American.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Sure.
for significant stretches of that time, I would say he was the best player in the U.S. Now I think that's maybe a little bit more up for grabs. There was a period of time when he went away a little bit, but he has come back, and he's again certainly one of the best players.
Yeah,
in
for
the
sure.
US.
He's top 5, maybe top 3 in the U.S. right now.
Sounds
for
right.
sure. So definitely very strong player from New York, known for playing Guile.
Yes.
And Guile is for most people is a defensive character.
Yeah.
Kind of this wall. And I don't think anybody plays that wall better than Dieminion.
Yeah, I think he has some of the best defense of anybody. You know, he plays the character for that, for sure. But even aside from the character, his decisions on, even just when to crouch tech, when to block, when to backdash, when to
throw
flash
out a
kick,
button to zone
when to hit a button, what button to anti-air with when, like all of those decisions, I feel like he is one of the best at, and it feels rare for him to get hit by a counter hit setup. I just feel like he always blocks or techs right. It's tough to deal with for a lot of his opponents.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because this is kind of the story on Dieminion. But most of the time when you fight a defensive character like Dalsum, like Guile, your whole goal is to slowly push them into the corner.
Yeah.
And once you get them into the corner, that's where you basically blow them up because they don't have any room to run anymore, right?
Sure.
So we've been saying this about Dieminion for years. He is the best Guile in the corner. When he gets into the corner, it's like it doesn't even feel like he's lost anything. You know what I mean? It feels like not being able to move back, whatever. My defense is still going to be super solid.
Yeah, again, I feel like he is one of the best or the best just defensive player, and in the corner, same thing. Whether he has Guile or not, regardless, but it is obviously this Guile. I'm just saying it's his decision making that I feel is most impressive.
Yeah, and I just feel like he has a couple of other characters that he's dabbled in from time to time. We've seen him bust out so there's definitely some character matchups that give Guile problems, and we've seen him bust out other characters from time to time. But there hasn't been very many matches where I don't feel confident that Dieminion can win it with Guile.
There are some pretty gnarly ones.
Yeah.
DiCaprio has been a huge thorn in his side lately. There are a couple tournaments that he's been knocked out of the tournament by 2 DiCaprios. Right? Sent to losers and then eliminated by DiCaprio. So that's something he's going to have to figure out. I hope it means a different character, but I guess we'll see what he does.
We've seen him in those tournaments bust out Rolento, for example. So I got to imagine he's practicing up a lot of secondary characters, at least Rolento or something, to deal with DiCaprio. Because that can be that's a rough match. For him.
He's tried Jury in the past. We'll see what he ends up doing. As for his year, sort of how he's played in Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Right. And keep in mind, again, as you mentioned, he kind of disappeared for one period of time. It took him a little bit to get back into the position. It's not really indicative, in my opinion, even though it's great. I don't think it's as indicative of how good he really is.
I agree. Well, let's go through it. So CEO 2014, 25th place. EVO 2014, 9th place.
Right out of top 8.
VS Fighting 4, 9th. The Fall Classic 2014, 7th.
Yeah, we should mention that he does travel to Europe a lot for
events.
Yes, so.
He does. Let's see. Resistance 3, 9th. Winter Brawl 9, 2nd. Cannes Winter Clash, again in Europe, 7th place. Final Round 18, 5th. Red Bull Kumite 9th, again in Europe. Gamer Assembly 2015, 3rd place. Frame Trap, 1st place. East Coast Throwdown, 3rd place. CEO 2015, 5th place. EGL Dallas, 2nd place. Summer Jam 9, first place. The Fall Classic 2015, second place. SoCal Regionals, 9th. Defend the North, 7th. And then Canada Cup, 25th. So most recent was 25th, but other than that, a lot of good showings.
Well, so you saw how as you kept going, the placements got higher and higher.
Yeah.
Sure, Canada Cup, 25th. That was the event that he ran in a 2-decap race.
Exactly right. Yep.
So he just basically got taken out by one character, essentially.
Yeah.
So, because, look, there was a team tournament before the singles tournament at Canada Cup. And without question, Dieminion was the MVP of
Agreed.
that event. His team, he won both team tournaments.
Right.
There was just a standard team tournament and then the international team tournament. And he won it for Team USA. He basically destroyed a whole bunch of teams with his guile, basically by himself. And he was looking super solid. And in fact, we were even postulating that if he kept playing like that, there's no way he would lose outside of bad character matches.
Right. So again, that's something he's going to have to figure out. You want to hop into this video? You want to talk about what we're gonna watch here? This is going to be Dieminion versus Snake Eyes. This is kind of cool because we have seen Snake Eyes versus Dieminion, right? In the video on Snake Eyes that we did. So it's kind of cool to see them from both sides. Obviously, we're going to be following along with how Dieminion does this time.
Right. This is a really good rivalry, in my opinion. I like the fact that these two... It's like perfect because we've got this excellent Guile, this amazing Zangief, one from New York, one from Los Angeles, kind of like this coast rivalry and such like that, and they go back and forth a lot. So one thing that we will say, I mean, we did talk about this a little bit in the Snake Eyes video. On paper, I think a lot of people think that Guile wins this matchup, but in fact, it's probably in Zangief's favor.
I can tell you certainly Dieminion thinks it's in Zangief's favor. I don't think he thinks it's a blow up necessarily, but like a little bit for Gief. Anyway, we'll see how that plays out.
Oops. Breathe. 1 second. Sorry, guys. There we go.
So anyway, Dieminion starts this out really, really well. Right, he has a spot on screen. This is Dieminion, right? He has the spot
and the buttons,
and he doesn't give it up unless he really needs to.
Yeah,
and that was the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the right time to do it. So.
Jumping backwards, not a great idea. You give up a lot of space, but it was the perfect time to do it. So.
Right.
There you go.
And here's that corner play. Gief is one of the more dangerous corner characters.
Yeah. Once he gets in there, it's just so tough to deal with. But
hey, he fights well.
Yep. And you see how brave he is? He stays right next to Zangief when Zangief gets up.
Yeah.
That takes some guts.
Let me tell you, that's something that a lot of Gief players don't like.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. You're not used to it.
Now, the one thing I will say about Dieminion is he's definitely one of the most methodical players that I know. He plays so sound, so logically. You know what I mean? His gameplay is really, really solid. But again, Zangief every once in a while he gets in on you, and this is what happens. So
yeah, that's Gief. You can't get too upset about it.
Yeah.
So again, though, Dieminion is really trying to just have a spot. Doesn't want to move backwards. Just wants to fight for it.
Again, using that stand roundhouse. There's a little bit of forward movement on it, so it's really good for Guile. Kind of gets him the space back a little bit. Oh, see, he goes up for the meaty throw. He wanted to throw him into the corner so he could get out of the corner. But again, like we said, Dieminion's defense in the corner is super good. It's not going to look as easy in this matchup just because it's 1 Snake Eyes and 2 Zangief.
Yeah.
Right? Once Zangief gets you in the corner, life just is rough.
Right. But, things are, well, that kind of situation for Dieminion, I feel like it's a good situation for him, but he has to make sure that he's not going to throw a boom at an errant time. Snake Eyes has good reactions and great predictions.
Right.
So it can be tough.
So here comes Snake Eyes, good safe jump in there, puts Guile into the Zangief vortex. Good block from the front, by the way. But again, Zangief, once he gets Guile knocked down, it's a tough fight for him to deal with.
For sure.
Especially when he starts throwing in those empty jumps like that.
Yeah, the low. Oh, nice reaction.
Yeah.
And then tried to make it happen. So, we're going to fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Because in this game, there's some problem with something or other.
Technical difficulties. And
yeah.
They reset the situation and give Snake Eyes one round, and then they basically go and continue the fight from there.
Right, so that's what we're going to do.
Yep, so there you go. They gave Snake Eyes the first round. Here we go, second game.
Cool.
Right back into it.
Nice whiff punish. It's so important for Guile to make sure he whiff punishes everything that Guile that Geef lets hang out.
Right.
And so far, that's what Dieminion's doing. Again, perfect time to jump back. Right, he hadn't done it the whole time.
Yeah, EX Flash Kick has enough invincibility to pass through Ultra 2, so smart on him for using Ultra 2.
Right.
Had the right read. And
Yeah,
he
that
had
EX
that
Flash
too. He dashed backwards. If he had hit jab, it would have worked, but he went for fierce, so he got SPD'd anyway.
I love the grab on Wake Up
Yeah.
to get Geef out of Green Hand. I mean, that's so nice.
And that was actually kind of smart too, throwing sonic booms at. So there is this tendency for Snake Eyes sometimes to unwisely use the meter when he shouldn't have. And he threw a bunch of sonic booms, let Snake Eyes go through with a green hand, and it just wasn't going to amount to anything.
Right.
So really smart play there from Dieminion. But again, you can see right now, Dieminion's timing on the sonic booms have been great. I mean, he had the right read there to flash kick. He just wasn't confident that he was charged up enough, I think. But other than that, like right now, his sonic booms have really been on point.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. What a good preemptive. Yeah, again, there you go.
Yeah, we'll talk about meaty flash kick in just a little bit, so after the match is done. But yeah, right now, again, he just has to be this wall, and that was a beautiful use of neutral jump force to go through the lariat, just to catch the lariat.
Yeah, everybody thinks that lariat is like the best, but it loses to a bunch of stuff. Actually, you just have to know what your character's button is.
Mm-hmm. It's got to shift your hurt box because you really do have to. Oh, that was so.
I really like the movement, right?
Yeah.
So Dieminion will spend all this time not really moving. He's not often a mobile player. Mm-hmm. He just has a spot and he fights her very well. But there are these times when he does dash forward all of a sudden, dash backward all of a sudden, and because that's a rarity for him, it is really effective. It throws the opponent off.
Now they sit here for about a minute, so I'm going to jump forward just a little bit again here.
Cool.
So sorry about that, guys. And sorry I accidentally left the mouse cursor on the screen, so
Rip.
Apologize about that. And here we go. So now Dieminion has tied it up 1-1, and you can really see now he's got those timings and those buttons. He's had two anti-air standing forwards, standing roundhouse with great timing.
Yeah, he still has not moved past where his character started. Okay, finally. But he didn't move before he took off Half-Life.
And he still hasn't moved again, and already down a third, and just gets a good throw there, a good reaction to throw, and that's a free punish for him. Yeah, perfect timing and distancing on that sonic boom to not get green hand, and there you see right there, that is a Dieminion round.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That is what you're going to see from Dieminion a lot at Capcom Cup. And so now Snake Eyes trying to find his way back in there. And you can see why a lot of people can consider this a bad matchup for Zangief, because when Guile gets the good round, it looks like it's really bad, but trust me, when Guile gets knocked to the floor, it feels worse. Yep, here we go.
Right, so exactly like this.
Right.
But hey, Dieminion gets out.
Yeah, good read. He had the meter for the FADC, so he was just going to go for it.
Yeah, the EX Gloom to gain space.
He made it look like Street Fighter 2 Guile low forward. Button was so good back then.
I think that was just a mistake by Dieminion. You saw a crouching medium kick come out. I wonder if he wanted EX flash kick. I just missed that. I don't know. Right. That's my guess. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so beautiful.
So good.
Then throws that meaty EX Sonic Boom, willing to spend the meter to get that space, and knew he was charged there. Gets the best punish on the soft knockdown, and he just saw that and reacted with the flash.
Oh, I'm sure that was supposed to be Ultra 2 for Snake, but you know what? Didn't get it.
Yeah,
that's on him.
Happened. I mean, that's how Dieminion probably lost the last round, but look at this great round from Dieminion again. So this could be two great rounds in a row right now for Dieminion. Two great round wins. Yeah, Snake Eyes just trying to find a way in. And he does get in! Oh. And
danger.
It's just not fun in this situation. Oh, but he reads it. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Just a bet either way. Yeah.
You even see Snake Eyes with a little smile there, like, I really thought I was gonna do that.
Well, I feel like Dieminion oftentimes comes out ahead on those mix-ups.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, like even in those defensive situations, it always feels like he makes the right choice.
Yeah.
It's very rare he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's only against other great players where you'll see stuff like that happen. But we've seen. Oh, it's just that short jump. What side?
Such a smart grab right there after the knees. Everybody just lets that happen. But Geef is actually not advantaged after he does knees at that height.
Mm-hmm. So jump short, so no block stun on that. Wake up lariat.
Yeah, wake up flash kick though. And then that was probably wake up pile driver, but there was a meaty from Dieminion.
Yep. Oh,
I love the movement. Just a little bit forward to make that work.
Yeah, and great awareness that he was going to think about focus and dashing through it, and good reaction from Dieminion. And there again, great buttons.
Yeah, Dieminion's picking the perfect spot. It's outside of EX hand. It's anti-air stand medium kick range. It's just outside of walk up crouching medium kick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this would have caught a lot of people.
I would have jumped.
Yeah, I probably would have jumped too, to be honest.
But again, Dieminion, great defense, good read that was an option. He probably knew that, Snake Eyes wanted to bait out a flash kick or something like that. So Dieminion is really, really good at knowing when to... Like, he's so good at alternating between throwing out the flash kick and not throwing out the flash kick.
Right.
It's really hard to read him like it is you can read a lot of other players. See? And then he delayed that flash kick a little bit, and he got Snake Eyes with it.
And very interesting that he often does the EX boom after that just to gain more range.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And here he goes. Has to play that defense, like we said, in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful punish. Gets the hard knockdown. A little too far away for that EX Sonic Boom to combo. I mean, he's not anywhere out of the woods yet. Look at that.
I really like the challenge.
Yeah, wake up low
I love the challenge.
Even though he lost that, it was still just beautiful. I mean, I'm sure he probably wanted to do like low jab into low strong Sonic Boom or something like that, but it just didn't come out that way. But here we go. So Snake Eyes trying to bring it back 2-2.
Again, that grab.
Yeah.
It's just a good understanding of the matchup.
Yeah, and a good understanding to challenge Zangief, because Zangief has no throw invincible moves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful button right there, low fierce. He's had that low fierce beat a couple of times, but you see it hasn't discouraged him. He went for it again.
Yeah, he knows the ranges and timings where it works. It just is a question of guessing right on those ranges and timings, and he oftentimes in this set, he got it. And same with that stand medium kick, which loses the stuff. It's not a perfect anti-air. Traded there, it can lose to just the jump down short knees. There's a lot of stuff that Geef can do, but Dieminion Guile in that set fought well from the corner. He fought well from mid-screen without moving backwards unnecessarily. He just had a sort of spacing that was oftentimes outside of EX hand. And I think you're right to point out when he sort of let Snake Eyes spend EX hand meter towards the end of that round, throwing booms from a more obvious reactable
timing,
range.
Right, and timing.
Just a lot of really strong decision-making then.
Yeah, again, look, we just saw, there was a couple of, remember how I pointed out that was a Dieminion round, right?
Yeah.
That was against Zangief, that was against Snake Eyes' Zangief, right? Just imagine what he does to a lot of the other people, in these tournaments and stuff like that. So he is so strong, and there have been times where some players, great players, look like they can't do anything to Dieminion, especially during that one point where, like you said, a lot of people considered him the best player in the States. That during that period of time, it just like people couldn't do anything to him.
Yeah.
It was so impressive.
It really felt like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Capcom Cup, I am a little bit worried for him because look, everybody else there saw him get dunked by DiCaprio too, and everybody else knows that Guile has some bad matchups.
Right.
And you got to think that people will be working on that stuff. If it's just Guile versus most characters in the game, I have a lot of faith in Dieminion, but clearly that's an issue for him, and if he doesn't get it worked out, I think it's going to be trouble.
Right.
If he does get it worked out, if he has a competent secondary character, or if he just figures out the matchup better, or if he really puts the time into it, then I think he can go really far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To be honest with you, so one of the things that I said during that was that he's a very calculated player. He plays very, very smart.
Mm-hmm.
That can actually be a fault. And I feel like that is something that Dieminion has a problem with a little bit, is that sometimes I feel like you have to make dumb decisions to throw your opponent off.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, so a long time ago when I was learning Street Fighter, Alex Vai told me, it was like, you got to make 2 smart decisions and then 1 bad decision every once in a while, just to keep the opponent guessing, right?
Interesting.
I feel like Dieminion is very, very logical, right? And so he does have a tendency sometimes to get read in those pressure situations and such. However, this was a conversation that came up on social media with Dieminion, and at Canada Cup, at that team tournament, if you remember how I said keep in mind that meaty flash kick that he did?
Yeah.
Dude, at Canada Cup, he went crazy with meaty flash kicks and didn't even FADC some of them. Like, he went nuts.
Yeah.
And we've seen he's capable of it, but I felt like what he did at Canada Cup in that team tournament was so good. Like, so I would have said, like, I feel like maybe he's too logical and that could hurt him. If he can we said it, like I said, there was no reason why he couldn't win that tournament outside of running into the 2 DiCapres, right? If he can play like he was playing in that team tournament, there's no reason why he can't have a deep run. You know, last year PR Rod got into top 4. There's no reason Dieminion can't get into top 4 if he plays like that, in my opinion.
No, I agree. When he was doing that, I remember thinking that was the strongest I had seen him play in a long time.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
Yeah, maybe ever, which is really crazy because he's so good, right? So if he can throw that in there, if he can kind of keep a little bit of that craziness in there every once in a while, I feel like he's going to take out a lot of people. I really do feel like he has a very, very... I mean, obviously we're from U.S., so I'm hoping he has a deep run, but I feel like he has a very good chance to get a deep run. So.
All right. Well, that's going to be at Capcom Cup the weekend of December 5th through 6th at the Sony PlayStation Experience in San Francisco.
That's right. If you can get tickets, if you're in the area, or if you're going to make a trip out there, I know some people are making trips specifically to go out there. Try, because it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be exciting and hype and ridiculous. Lots of live shouting and screaming from the audience and such like that. If you can't make it, watch it on twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters. Make sure you follow them so that as soon as it starts, you get the notification in your email or on your phone, and just get ready for a full day of top-level Street Fighter play.
That's right. And if you like talking about fighting games, as we do and as we have been, please check out our channels on YouTube. We are at UltraChen TV, and on Twitch, we're at UltraChen TV.
That's right. We have all sorts of videos. We have a lot of beginner stuff where things like how to think during matches. We have high-level analysis where we take a look at new techniques and research, how things work in fighting games. And every Tuesday, we have a fighting game community recap show, pretty much just covering everything that you want to know about the fighting game community for the past week.
That's right. But, okay, we'll see you at Capcom Cup.